evil conduct to give them a basis for so doing. Look at the example. Father has two children, son and daughter. Father's original will divided his estate evenly between the two children. Daughter is in the military and is stationed in a dangerous area in Iraq. The United States government erroneously informed father that daughter was killed during recent hostilities. Father then changed his will, leaving everything to son. But father died before finding out that the daughter was actually still alive and well. Unfortunately, the court is unlikely to fix this mistake, and the son would still receive the father's entire estate. Our last contest topic is called the in terrorem clause, also called a no contest or forfeiture provision. It is a method for the testator to attempt to prevent contests that have no real basis. And what they are is provisions in a will that says, look, if the beneficiary of the will contests the will and loses. Remember, the beneficiary is typically contesting the will because they want to get more by intestacy or by a prior will, that if you contest the will and lose, you get nothing under the will. So the goal is to scare the beneficiary who would get more money by intestacy into not contesting for fear of getting nothing if the contest fails. Can you do this? Jurisdictions vary from both extremes as to how they deal with these provisions. Wisconsin is sort of a middle approach. Generally, they are valid, so they will work. They are valid, but they are strictly construed. They are strictly construed. So the beneficiary's actions, whatever the beneficiary is doing, has to fit squarely within the prohibition to trigger the forfeiture. And then, if the beneficiary can show that the contest was brought in good faith and with probable cause, even though the contest doesn't succeed, even though it's unsuccessful, if they can prove it was brought in good faith and with probable cause, then the in terrorem provision will not be enforced. So, we now have almost reached the end of our time together. I want to remind you, last of all, of the basic strategy. Step 1. You handle the non-probate assets. Distribute those to the appropriate persons first. Then you look at what's left. And you have to ascertain, are we dealing with an intestate death or a testate death? If it's intestate, determine the identity of the heirs using the distribution schemes and the special factors we looked at. If it's a will, determine whether the will is valid. Obviously, if the will is invalid, or only disposes of part of the estate, then you have to cycle back to the intestacy discussion. But the will is valid, go through the elements of a valid will, unless the bar examiners tell you the will is valid. If the bar examiners tell you the will is valid, don't waste your time going through the elements of a valid will. But if they don't tell you it's valid, then you better go through the elements. And then start to look for all the issues that are there. Very heavy issue spotting. Do you see changes to the property, changes to the people? Are there interpretation issues? Is there revocation? Are there will contest grounds? Look for that. Develop in your mind an issue checklist, because it is very intensive on your ability to spot the issues that we've discussed. So, it has been my pleasure to be with you, although it's only virtually. I've enjoyed seeing you. And please, again, I remind you, please reach out to me if I can be of any help to you during your bar preparation process. If you've missed any of the things that you are filling in on the handout, or you just have any general questions about the material, you can call me, 806-834-4270, or email me at gwb@professorbeyer.com. I wish you the best of luck on the exam, and of course, in your legal career, and I look forward to welcoming you as a colleague.